We immediately set a course for Wichita, Kansas, and developed our flight strategy. Boeing Flight Test had already recommended that the aft main gear be lowered, as this would be a stabilizing factor in the absence of the vertical fin. Any drag after the center of gravity would tend to stabilize the aircraft. Here, the outboard air brakes are at position 4, which is also an area after the center of gravity. Here, our airspeed is about 210 knots indicated, which is about 30 knots above the minimum recommended for this weight with flaps up. Small excursions up to 220 and down to 200 knots were made. However, 210 knots was found to be most satisfactory. At this time, the altitude was approximately 12,000 feet mean sea level. The center of gravity was calculated to be about 19% with the vertical fin missing. The weight of the vertical fin is estimated to be about 2,000 pounds. Due to the reports of unfavorable weather at Wichita, it was finally decided to divert us to Fairfield Air Force Base, Arkansas, where surface winds were more favorable. While in the Blytheville area, making preparations for landing, we were advised to extend the tip protection gears first. Then the forward trucks were lowered. A yawing oscillation occurred during forward gear extension. However, this ceased when the gear reached a down and lock indication. We reduced airspeed to 160 knots at 10,000 feet and prepared for a long, flat final approach, hoping to be able to flare and touch down at the same speed. 160 knots flaps up approach speed was selected in order to obtain optimum body angle. We had computed a no-drag chute stopping distance of 5,000 feet. Here is the aircraft on final approach. 160 knots, outboard air brakes at position 4. All engines are near idle. Crossing the threshold, still at 160 knots, the aircraft started a slight left drift, and we decided not to hold off any longer, but put it on the runway. At touchdown, all air brakes were raised to position 6. We elected to use the drag chute, but decelerated to 130 knots before deploying it. We considered the possibility of a go-around, and had it been necessary, we would have used outboard air brakes at number 6 position. This is the B-52 at Fairfield Air Force Base shortly after landing. This aircraft was flown 5 hours in this configuration from the scene of the incident over Colorado to Wichita
The B-52 carries weapons all over its airframe. Each wing holds up to 9 weapons, missiles, mines, smart and laser-guided bombs. Inside, there's room for 27 more, as well as 8 nuclear cruise missiles. This gives the B.U.F. a massive payload of different weapon configurations. The B-52 carries 70,000 pounds of weapons